All right. I think we are now live on YouTube.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo. Yes, we
Yeah,
are. Just had to check, make sure it's working, but we're here. We're here. Christina, how you doing? How you feeling today? Welcome
feeling.
back. We missed you
I
last week.
know. Feeling good. It's nice. It was nice to take a little vacation, but at the same time, feels good to be back.
Exactly. I, it's always, oh man, I need a vacation. I need myself. I need a vacation. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but
I
I
think
know I
everyone.
need one.
I think everyone needs a vacation at this point, right? It's like
Yeah,
sometimes you just need some time away to recharge everything, right, and get back into it.
exactly. 100%. Well, you went to the beach, right? How was that?
Yeah, I went to Hilton Head. It was awesome. First time I'd ever been. The beach with there was incredible.
Yeah.
Like the water was like you walk right in, like 82 degrees. You didn't even need to get used to it. Couldn't have been
Oh,
better. And the resort was really, really nice. So yeah, it was a relaxing week for sure.
nice, nice. Shoot. Now you're tempting me. I'm like, maybe I should take next week off.
Do up.
Oh my God. But welcome everybody. I know we're here on this lovely Tuesday, like we are every Tuesday. Thank you for being here. We're I think I think we should get started. What do you
Let's do
think?
it.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's 4:01 Eastern, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
let's
If
kick it
you're
off.
if you're if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. You're late.
Yes. I literally had a boss one time that was that told me that. It was like, if you're on time, you're late. And I was that drilled into my head literally for the rest of my life since then.
Exactly. If you're on time, you're late. So again, appreciate everybody being here on a Tuesday. This is the presentation. If you're coming from the Discord, welcome. If you're a new follower or you're just somehow, some way coming across the YouTube feed, we appreciate you being here, tuning in. We're going to talk about how to turn 10K followers into 1 million. I think that's every creator's goal, and our goal with these presentations on Tuesday is to give you guys the best advice, the best creator advice to grow and monetize your brand. So super excited to bring you this presentation. I'll introduce myself. I'll let Christina introduce herself, and then we'll hop straight into it. My name is Kevin. I'm the Discord community manager here at Infuse, making sure everybody in our Discord, everybody in our creator community has all the resources and tools they need to grow and monetize their brand.
Awesome. All right, my turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Who are you, Christina?
Who am I? Good question. Kristina Coglin. So I head up influencer strategy here at Infuse, and my role is really to help support creators with anything that they need, which is exactly why we're here today, right? So helping them with content creation, growing their platform, strategy, driving revenue and monetization. That's what I'm here to do. So I'm really excited to dig into this topic because I think Kevin and we could both agree it's a really important topic for creators of how do I continue to grow, right? So I'm already
Mm,
seeing some traction. Things are going really well, whether it's 1K followers, 10K followers, 50, 100, doesn't really matter the exact number that you're at today. How do I continue to grow to get to that 1 million mark milestone and beyond that, right? So I'm excited to dig into all of the fun strategies and hacks that we can share with everyone today.
100%, 100%. Like always, if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free, drop it in the chat. Very informal. We're just here. We're spreading some love, giving you guys some tips and some strategies. Don't be shy. Drop something in the chat. We love answering questions. And if you want to wait till the end and drop questions in the chat at the end, feel free, drop it whenever you feel like it. But all right, let's get into it. This is the agenda for today. We're going to talk about building a community, content quality, and first kick it off with content discoverability. And remember, this conversation, we're talking about how to turn 10K followers into 1 million followers. With content discovery, this topic is really about just making it easy for followers, current followers and future followers to discover your content. And so we're going to go into a couple of different ways that you can do that, because I think the biggest thing is to share that content across all the different platforms. Use the reach of all these different platforms, be it organically or paid, to really push your message, push your content, and get your content out to more people. The best way that you've probably seen creators do it right now is to bite size some of the best content moments, typically from Twitch or YouTube, where they have a longer form content. Take the best bits, bite size them down for YouTube and TikTok. That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to expand your reach to these other platforms and get started, get your feet wet. Optimize your profiles and repurpose content across each platform. One of the things that I've talked to a lot of creators about is it okay that I post something on TikTok and then I post the same thing on Instagram? And I don't see any problem with that. And plenty of creators have done that. That's a great way to get in tap with the Instagram audience, because whether you believe it or not, some people actually don't have TikTok and they only see, TikTok or short form content on Instagram. So you're always getting your content in front of new eyes by repurposing it and putting it up on a new platform and making sure your profile is optimized. I think a lot of creators, this might fall through the cracks in terms of the day to day, what they need to do to make sure that their content is seen by the most people. But put an email in your link, in your bio, so that brands can reach out to you. Have a nice profile picture and have that same profile picture across your platforms, so that you have a uniform look on every single platform, and make it makes followers recognize you a lot easier on these new platforms. Maybe you do a link tree and you have a link tree with all the links to all your other platforms. Really pay attention to how your profiles look and optimize them for the best experience, for the best discoverability on those platforms. You want to optimize your content and devise a content schedule to make publishing efficient. What I mean by optimize your content, we know hashtags is important. The conversation around hashtags in the last, I would say, couple of months has been, wishy-washy, to say the least. Some people don't think it matters. Some people thinks it does matter. But it's more harm. It will do better than, I'm trying to figure out the best word for it. But, it can't harm you to, add a couple of hashtags. Now, if you add a lot, if you add like 7, then maybe you might be hindering yourself. But to add 2 or 3 hashtags to your content to make sure that it reaches the audience that might be looking into a hashtag will better optimize your content for discoverability. And to make sure that you're pushing out content and getting out as much content to your fans, to your followers as possible, because we know that's important. Create a content schedule so that when content is being pushed to what platform and when. And we'll get into a little bit more about that in the next upcoming slides. But another way is testing, boosting, your posts and getting that reach out and seeing what bites, what works. This boost doesn't look like, putting $1,000 behind a post, but maybe it's $50 behind a post to see, where it goes and who sees you and who follows and what they say. That's really important for follower sentiment and learning how audiences react to your content. So don't be afraid to boost your content and get it out to a larger audience, just to test the waters and see what people respond to. And then most importantly, always got to keep this in here. I think, number 100% falls through the cracks is be consistent. These platforms reward consistency. We've seen it on multiple levels. They love consistency. Be consistent. Kristina, what do you have to add? What are you thinking?
No, I think that's all spot on. It's right. It's creating content. And the nice thing about this is that it doesn't really have to be overly difficult. Sometimes the best content is just really, especially in some of these platforms with TikTok, Instagram Reels, now we got YouTube Shorts. It's easier than ever to repurpose content on multiple platforms. These social platforms are all competing against each other, which is an amazing thing because they all want creators to be on their platform because that creates sticky users. So take advantage of that and take advantage of the reach and the fact that you can use similar content mediums across all the platforms and repurpose content pretty easily without having to do a ton of work. And then you're essentially growing on each of those platforms. And the more views and engagement and total reach you have, the more monetization that's ultimately going to cause you either through the platforms or through outside partnerships. So I couldn't agree more. And test different things out, right? Test what works with your audience. We'll dig a little bit more into that. Try boosting, right? Even if it's to Kevin's point, it's a small amount, right? See how it works because it can give you an extra boost in terms of your views and engagement. And yeah, most importantly, consistency is key.
100%. Exactly. So this next slide, we're gonna get into an example. We reference creating a content schedule, and this is how I would go about thinking about your content and creating that content schedule. So let's just say, for example, you and your significant other make relationship content. That's the niche that you guys are in. These are just a couple of examples of what you would make for your content. On YouTube, you make a 10-minute video just showing the day in the life. And then on Instagram, maybe you'll clip something from that 10-minute video and put up a 30-second clip of that. And then you'll put up a picture promoting, that video saying like, hey, you're going to love this video. Go watch it. You do the same thing. You repurpose that 30-second clip for TikTok. Maybe you create another 1 minute, teaser where you pull the best bits from that 10-minute video into a teaser for TikTok. Maybe you do something, a little TikTok dance or a TikTok challenge for TikTok. And then, on Twitch, you're doing a relationship stream. This just shows you how you have 4 different platforms that are going to receive their own unique content and repurposed content, expanding your reach. Now you may be thinking, this is a lot. This is kind of daunting. It's not, because in this next slide, this is how you would break it down, and this is just how we think about creating that content schedule so that you're taking the pressure off yourself. You know exactly what you're creating. You're being efficient about the content creation process. So on Monday, you're posting that picture. You're posting that teaser on Tuesday. As you can see, I won't get into it, but every single day has unique content going to it. Every single day, you're being discovered by new and current followers on a different platform, and the cycle keeps going. It frees up time to make more content. You're going to be more efficient, and this is just the best way to go about that. So that is about content discoverability. I'm going to turn it over to Kristina as we talk about the next topic.
So the next topic is a classic, right? It's simple: quality over quantity always, right? It's very easy to get caught up, especially in a platform like TikTok, to get caught up in just producing a lot of content, and not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, because sometimes you do have to test different things and see what works with your respective audience. But at the end of the day, you definitely want to focus on having quality content. So if that means having one really amazing post each day versus 3 okay posts, I would favor the one quality post each day, any day. And we'll dig a little bit more into what that looks like. So as you're creating your content, the first thing is metrics are your friend, right? These social platforms have them for a reason, and it's because they're telling you essentially what's working and what's not working. The best thing you can do is not just look at those analytics, but discover insights from them. What does those metrics actually mean as far as things that your audience cares about? So take a look at viewer retention. How long are they watching the video? If you're doing videos that are 60 seconds and people are at an average watching for 20 seconds, maybe you are better off doing shorter form 20-second videos, because that's really what's resonating with their audience, and they don't really like the longer form type of content. To pay attention to the watch time. When are they dropping off in the video, right? That's all really important to not only see A, how engaged your audience is, but B, what type of content you should be creating going forward. Next is the content itself, right? Is it relevant? Is it relevant to the target audience that you're trying to appeal to? And there's 2 ways to understand the target audience. One, you create content that's based on something that's really applicable to you and see what audience comes from that. Or you figure out what target audience you want to appeal to and then create content based on that specific target audience. And then also, are you proud of the content that you're putting out, right? So if you are your target audience, which in a lot of cases for content creators, you are, right? Because you tend to get people that are similar to you that tend to follow along. Is it something that you would follow along? Is it content that you would watch? Would you find it relevant? Would you find it interesting or entertaining or inspiring? Are you proud of the content you're producing? Because if you are and you're checking those boxes, chances are it's going to start continuing to perform pretty well. Next is paying attention to the audience, right? So is as you start creating your content over a longer period of time, always go back to what we just mentioned about the target audience. And is this what my target audience came here for, right? Am I being true to my niche? Am I being true to the type of content that I typically create? And am I being true to, especially if you are the focus of your content, are you being true to yourself, right? Are you being your real self, and are you showing up as your real self through your content? Because people can sniff that really, really easily, and they can tell if someone's being really their authentic self or not. So always think about that as you're creating your content, if you're staying true to your niche and what you want to focus on. And is your audience relating to it? And you can tell that through not just the metrics that I just mentioned, but engagement. Are people engaging with you? Are they sharing that they love the content? Are they sharing content with other users on that platform? So there's a lot of metrics and a lot of engagement metrics specifically that you can look at to determine, are people really interested in engaging with your content? And if the answer is yes, keep it up, right? Keep up what you're doing. And as you continue to be consistent, you'll continue to grow. Kevin, anything you would add to that?
No, 100%. Yeah, no, you hit it all on the head. I do not want to overshadow what you said, because that was 100%. Are you proud of the content that you're making? Are you happy with it? Is your audience happy with it? And then looking at the analytics to tell, to show you an indication of both those things, like 100%. 100%.
And now this is some just hacks, especially when you think about platforms like TikTok, of what can also help in terms of growing your account. So first off is taking advantage of trending content and audio, right? We all know there's certain things on TikTok, and not just TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, really across all these platforms, that's just performing really well, whether it's a trending audio or trending content topic. And a lot of people are sharing it, and it's driving a lot of views. Now, if it's something that you can make fit for your particular niche, and a lot of times you probably can, take advantage of that. That is a great, easy way to hack the system and try to drive more engagement and more views on your account. Another one is remixing viral content that's already out there, right? So whether it's remixing with another creator, responding to another creator's content, that's also another great way to be able to expand out your reach with your content. And then one thing that's also super, super important, especially when it comes to really short form content. So this does apply for long form content as well, right? So say longer form YouTube videos, but it's especially applicable for TikTok and Reels and a lot of short form video content, is creating a hook that's going to compel them within the first 3 seconds. We all know if you are using one of these social media platforms, people's attention spans are pretty short, right? They're going through their For You page and they're scrolling through and they're trying to see which videos they actually care about and which ones they just want to scroll right past. So those 3 seconds count, right? You almost treat it like, they always say a hiring manager looks at a resume for an average of 3 to 5 seconds and deciding whether or not they want to move forward with a candidate. It's the same thing here. Consumers will look at a video for about 3 seconds and decide whether or not do they actually care about this. Does this resonate with me? Is this something that I actually want to sit and watch for the next 15, 20, or 60 seconds? Hook them in. Make them realize what the value you're going to create is off the bat, right in those first 3 seconds before you dig into the rest of your content. And that's a great way to drive more views and engagement.
100%. Yeah, we have some questions in the chat. Keep those questions rolling. We're going to get to them at the end of the presentation, but we're going to get into the next topic. Is building a community. This is the final topic, not a following. I think a lot of creators fall trapped into the vanity metric that is their follower count number, which is definitely important. It's definitely important and, probably really positive reinforcement for a creator to say, oh, I have 100,000 followers, I have 200, I have 500,000 followers. Holy smokes, like this is amazing. But how does that translate ultimately into, you being able to do content creation full time and being able to support yourself as a creator and being able to go and do bigger and better things and fund the passion projects that you are really passionate about? That's the end goal for all of this. It's to be a full-time content creator, so that you can make the content and, your passion, what you do all time. The I kind of got lost in my thought there, but it's to make make content full time. That's the goal. So building a community and not a following is super super important. And so, our advice is to really focus on views, engagement, and audience loyalty. More than just your follower number, because higher views and higher engagement leads to more money, leads to more opportunity, leads to you being able to do this full time. Really focus on the metrics that are really important to helping you build and grow a community rather than just your follower number. And this is how we think you could do that. I think definitely understanding the audience sentiment when it comes to your page. If you don't know what sentiment is, it's really what are my audience saying about me in the comments? What are they saying about my content? What are they saying about my page? What do they think about me as a person in my comment section? It's really just, for lack of a better term, reading the room. If you make content and it goes viral, but people are I think the perfect example of this is the YouTube Rewind that got nixed this year. Is that you're making high quality content for millions of people to see, but it gets, for every million views it gets 2 million dislikes. The audience sentiment is not there. They don't resonate with that content. So you really want to understand your audience sentiment, and you want to test your audience conversion. And I think this is super important. I don't think a lot of creators know this or do this, but there's ways for you to test audience conversion. And first, I want to explain to you why this is important, and then I'm going to explain to you these three things under and how to test it. Audience conversion is super important to brands that you'll work with, be it in the past or in the future. This is how brands can tell how authentic your following is, and whether you can turn, the money they give you, $1,000 for a brand post into, $50,000 for them in revenue. For yourself as a content creator, this is, I want to put out a merch line because merch is super lucrative to content creators. Is my 100,000 followers going to convert into $100,000? And so you really want to be paying attention to that as you grow your following, as you turn yourself into a business, because I think content creators are, and really understand your audience conversion. And these three ways are how you can benchmark that. For this paid conversion, it's, I want to release merch. I have 100,000 followers. I'm going to put out this merch and I'm going to see how many people buy it. I'm going to not spend a lot of money. Maybe it's just going to be a shirt, but I want to see how many people buy it. And from there, you'll begin to that's a great test to show your audience conversion. If 1,000 out of 100,000 people in your audience buy a shirt, then your audience conversion is not that high. It's 10%. If now 20,000 of your 100,000 people buy a shirt, then your audience conversion is very high. So it's very lucrative for you as a content creator, and you've built an authentic audience. So I would try any way you can test paid conversion. If you're a content creator that has 10K followers, you're probably already testing brand deal conversion. And that's really, I'm promoting a brand. How much traffic am I sending to the brand? How much money does that, brand make from this brand deal with me? Again, that's just to test the audience conversion and how much of your audience is willing to go, and, the synergy between you and the brand that you're working with, and how you can make money. Brand deals are the blood of content creators. So you want to know this. And then free conversion, you kind of already get it in terms of people liking, people commenting, people subscribing to your YouTube channel. But, maybe you're sending them to a website where they can look at more content. Maybe you're sending them to a Patreon page, something that's not a paid conversion, but you really just want to see, can I get people off of the platforms that I'm using onto a platform that I own, and how does that conversion look like, and how can I, up it? How can I make it better? Because again, more conversions equals more money for you as a content creator, and then you want to drive that up. Whatever that number is, once you do that test, you have those benchmarks, drive that up. Focus on engaging more frequently, and promoting and prompting engagement amongst your community. That's build a community. Kristina, what are your thoughts? What do you want to add?
No, I totally agree. And knowledge is power, right? It's like being able to have this data and understanding, not just from your back end analytics, but also from the actions taken by your audience. Makes you a really, really strong and powerful creator, especially as it relates to potential partnerships and opportunities and brand deals. If you are a highly converting influencer, you can make a lot of money essentially, right? So
Mhm.
it's really amazing to know this information. And also, as we think about the metrics that are important as far as conversions, right? We talk about things like views and engagement rate. It's interesting because if you, for example, I got the opportunity to be part of the Instagram Creator Fund, right? And when you're part of that fund, they don't say, hey, if you have so many followers, you can make so many money. They say, hey, if you drive so many views on your reels, you can make this much money, right? It's all about those important metrics of, to them, how engaged is the community that's following you. That's important on the social platforms in terms of creator funds. It's also really, really important when it comes to brand partnerships as well.
100%.
All right, now we're gonna wrap it up. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat and we will absolutely dig into those. But to recap, our call today, or our live stream today, I'm so used to saying call because I'm on so the focus is creating a really, really solid content plan from ideation to posting schedule. Outline what that looks like, make it smarter, not harder, right? Don't put in a ton of time. Make something that's efficient and workable for you and execute it. Next, have a good understanding of how your content is performing. Your viewer retention, your watch time, your conversion metrics. Understand that, learn it, gain insights from that, and use it towards your advantage. And focus on really building that community, not just growing your follower numbers, and understanding what type of content really works in terms of converting your audience.
100%. Yeah, so that is us for today. We have 3 questions. Kristina, like always, I'm just gonna shoot them off to you.
Do it up.
Please drop more questions if you have them in the chat. We love to answer them. The first one is, what do I do if I'm hitting a creative roadblock in my niche?
Mm. Common, right? It happens to all creators at some point where you just feel like you're spinning your wheels and eventually you're just coming up dry. A few different things, right? One, take advantage of maybe some trending content or trending audio out there. Engage with or remix other influencers' content, right? So if especially that's what's great about a lot of the social platforms now. If you can't come up with your own native content that you think will go viral, you can always piggyback on content that's working well for other creators. So that's a really quick and easy way. It's just looking up what's trending, which audio is trending, and putting your own respective spin on it. So I'd say that's one really easy way to do it. Another thing to do is just think through what type of, and do a little brainstorming session of what's the type of content that my audience might care about. Sometimes you come up with the best ideas too when you're not necessarily thinking about it. So for me, it might be driving in the car, or taking a shower, right? And just kind of ideate around different things and write those down as those ideas come up. And figure out what are the best ideas that you came up with, and focus on those, right? So try not to put too much pressure on it. Come up with ideas as they come and take advantage of all of the amazing content that's out there, and take advantage of what's trending. And you'll eventually get out of that slump, because sometimes creativity drives ultimately more creativity. Kevin, anything you'd add to that?
Um, I would say, I mean, and this is what works for me. Sometimes I just take a walk and I just,
Totally.
do what what helps you reset, that creative bone. I know when I walk, I like to walk by myself, no music, head down really fast because just, I'm focused on like walking and like, and my subconscious is like moving and it's being creative.
Right.
Exactly. So I just like to do that, whatever that is for you. It might not be walking, it could be something else, do, that. And I would say for me, it's also like maybe I don't know. I've actually tried this a lot recently, is just pivoting to something, content that I want to make or like just making something off of being inspired. Maybe it doesn't have to go on my main page, but just being inspired by, the here and the now and making something not because it's a part of your niche, but it's because you enjoy content creation. Like that could help. That's definitely helped me recently. Um, it luckily for me, it kinda is within my niche, so I was able to put it up on my channels, but yeah, that's what I've done. But yeah, that hope you get out of that creative roadblock. Um, Next question, and we can kinda hit both of these questions together on the next two is, how long does it take to get from 10K followers to 1,000,000 followers? And how much money can I make at 1,000,000 followers versus 10K followers?
Mm.
Now this is very subjective.
It is. Of course, the answer is not a sexy one, is it depends, right? So
Right.
there's a lot of things it depends on. Depends on your niche, it depends on how consistent you are, it depends on how good of content you create. I've seen some people go from 10K to 1 million over the course of a few months, which is crazy and pretty aggressive, but also very doable because their content was awesome. Their content was awesome. They kept going viral and they just grew at an exponential rate. So, very possible. Some creators it takes a year, some creators it takes multiple years, right? So it really depends on how dedicated you are and how focused you are on growing to that million mark. Because especially if you are focused on getting to that 1 million milestone, that is something that takes serious dedication. It's not something you can just passively throw a post up here once in a while and just hope that you eventually get to that number. It's going to take a lot of work. It's totally worth it when you figure out what the payouts are once you start getting to numbers like that, right? But it does require, like anything, a lot of work and effort. So I've worked, for example, I was a talent I managed a talent on TikTok and we started working with him and he was about 300K followers. And now I think last time I checked, he was at, I think around 5 million at this point. And he's in the family space and he did that probably in the course of, hitting that first million or so. He did it in probably less than a year, I'd say 8 or 9 months or so. But he put in a ton of work to do it and created content that people really liked. It was hilarious, hysterical family skits that was super relatable towards his target audience. And he went viral a bunch of times. And he went from charging, a couple $100 in a post when we first started to now he's charging at least 5 figures minimum for a post that he's doing, so there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can get flat fee compensation. You can be part of the creator fund. You can also do performance-based pricing. To Kevin's point, if you have an audience that converts really well, sometimes that can be super, super lucrative. Sometimes even more than flat rate compensation, where you do have a limit to what you're going to make on that deal. So the larger your audience is, the more opportunities it creates for you. But it also ultimately comes down to not just your followers, but like we talked about, the really important metrics like views, engagement, and conversion metrics, right? If you have really high views, really high engagement, and really high conversion, you do not need to get to the million follower mark to make a lot of money, right? So if your audience is truly a community and really loyal to you, you can make a good amount of money at essentially any follower mark. Just be consistent with it and focus on community building.
100%. 100% could not have said it better. I think that was the greatest segue to, just this end slide, the end of our presentation. Hope you guys took home some really impactful, theories, opinions, ideas, ideologies, because it is really important, having an authentic following, be it at 10K, be it at a million, is very important, especially for you as a creator, as you grow and scale your business, and to make sure that, you know, you have a sustainable living, a sustainable income throughout the future, so that you can do the projects that you want and continuing to make great content. So super excited to be here with Kristina. Super excited to give you guys this information. If you haven't already, connected with us at Infuse Influencer on all socials, and check out our website for our app and our Discord and all the things that we're doing and the events that we might be running, like something in LA soon. If you're watching and in LA, you might want to hit us up to be
True.
there.
Yep.
Stay up to date with us on our socials and at infuseinfluencer.com. Super excited to be here with you, Kristina. Thank you. Amazing,
Yeah.
like always. I'm glad you're back. This has been, I missed you.
Yeah, happy to be back. And guys, yeah, if you have any questions or there's any types of content that you want us to create in the future based on challenges you're running into, questions you're running into, support that you need, literally that's what we're here for. Reach out to us anytime. The best way is you can reach out to us directly, reach out to us through Discord. We're constantly chatting and talking about different stuff through the Discord community, because we're creating content here based on the questions that we get all the time from the creators that we work with. So let us know what we can do to help. That's what we're here for. And feel free to tune in every Tuesday, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.